This video is a companion piece to my When Does a Joke Go On Too Long video. Be sure to check that out for more context behind the making of my fan edit of A Million Ways to Die in the West.
A million ways to die.
I found it to be very empowering for the women. I don't want to pat myself on the back too much here.
Yeah.
But Sarah Silverman as the prostitute, like she was owning all of that. She was doing terrible things, but she owned it and was happy about it.
Yeah.
And the Charlize Theron character, same thing. It's like she was the baddest one of them all, really, and was able to kind of do what she wanted to do eventually. So I did like that, even though it's the type of movie that it is, that's not typically what happens. They both were cast well.
One of my favorite running gags was with the parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, every time we walk in, he's like, "Can you at least switch seats?" Or at the end, he's up there burying himself next to my mother. I thought that was great. Those two were funny.
That came out my penis. Now, did
Yeah, the guy that farted and died.
Did y'all watch the unrated version or the normal version?
I
just
watched the regular one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that's the one I watched too.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaway I had from it was that I wish it had ended sooner,
And it had a
which
lot
is
of
not
really
a great
good,
review, I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, it had a lot of good actors in it.
Yeah.
Actresses. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Liam Neeson's in it,
I know,
right? You've got how many Oscar nominees in that
Yeah,
movie,
Charlize
right?
Theron, right?
Yeah.
Ribisi, probably.
She's a winner.
Yeah, you got a Tony Award winner with Neil Patrick Harris,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
think he's won a
He
Tony
was
for
really
something.
funny.
Yeah, he was really funny.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible. I'd give it like a 6, which is like an average movie.
Six
Yeah.
out of,
I'd give
of
it
what- out of what?
6 out of 10. I just do like IMDb scale. Like good movies get like a 7 IMDb, great movies get like an 8, and classics get like a 9 on that.
What would you give it on the A to F scale? Because I give it like a C minus.
A what? A to F?
Yeah, you're a
I'd
teacher.
probably give it a C. Probably a C.
C.
Sorry, I thought you said 8. 8 instead of A.
8 AF.
That's what I thought you said too, like a tornado scale or something. Well, on
give
a
it a
tornado
F.
scale, I give it
Ain't
an
on the
EF.
Richter scale.
F 2.5.
Yeah, okay.
When it comes to Seth MacFarlane and his humor, I really liked Family Guy for a couple of seasons, and then I was like, okay, I feel like I've seen what he's got. And so I was skeptical when A Million Ways to Die in the West came out. I watched it, and it was kind of like I went back to some of those Seth MacFarlane moments and enjoyed them for the amount of time that I think I had tolerance for. And then I went back to, okay, I know what this is, and I'm just kind of like done with it.
Actually, let me go back to one more thing I liked. What you just said reminded me of this. I liked when he referred to, this is a terrible time to live. Like,
Yeah.
kind of knowing
Yeah.
in your time that this is bad.
Yeah.
And it's only because he really knows what comes next or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
it was funny for a character to have that perspective.
I would have liked to have seen a lot more ways for people to die. When
Right.
the
There's
movie
like
was
maybe
over,
6 or 8.
when the movie was over, that was the one thing I did remember at the end of it. It was like, this went on for a long time, and I would have been happy, honestly, to see a sequence.
Yeah.
Like, I like the drug sequence, I did, but I would have been just as happy to see a sequence that went as long of just like death, 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 death,
good.
death, death.
Agreed.
Montage.
So, yeah. So that scene in the bar where he's talking about it would have been much more fun if it had been that.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, let me tell you about. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What if I told you I couldn't do that?
They'll cut your ankle off to cure a minor cough, 'cause there's a million ways to die.
A million ways to die.
Other than the stagecoach scene, the montage of the other dates when he was getting out, that's not in this.
Right,
saw the
right.
standard version.
Yeah.
That wasn't
I
in
did like
there.
that.
I like that montage too.
I did
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
The problem with that little kid scene, if you're gonna do that, you can't do the Charlize Theron joke at the end. I was 9.
Oh, I know.
Like that's you have to have one or the other. So I think
So maybe that's why they
I
cut
think if
that.
you're gonna, and that's probably why they cut it in the original version.
I mean, you took Doc Brown and put him at the very end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
I
was
did notice that change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it just felt like a cut scene or like a deleted scene at the end, so it didn't matter that it was out of sequence. It
Right.
didn't bother me. It could have very well been the next day and setting up
Yeah.
the next movie if
Right.
they wanted. So that didn't bother me at all. I'll also add, I don't know if it matters or not, but the bloopers at the end, I don't think were in the other version. Yeah.
I like
So
that.
I love bloopers. They're one of my
too.
favorite things. And so having that in there also just gives me a more overall enjoyable movie experience
It's your
too.
last impression.
It's a little dessert at the end. I agree. I think it's better as well. how I feel about Seth MacFarlane and his movies still kind of sits the same for me. So I tend to be a little bit more of a cynic and not recommend movies unless they're like, I guess like really weird or like really strike me. But if it's a movie that just kind of like, if it's just like an enjoyable, easygoing comedy, I'm not going to probably recommend it just because that is my personality and has nothing to do with the movie.
I would say it's on the level for me of just like, if there's movies like it's fun to drink to, if it's like, it's not something you want to watch, sit down and watch with your family. If you're just like having a drink or something, just like you'll
I
laugh.
think I'd watch that with like I don't think Kat or Mason have seen it. Darren and I watched it together originally. I don't know if she'd want to see it, but I think I'd watch it with Kat and Mason. I remember one of my things I was thinking about was like these went on and on and on and on and on, like in the bar. Maybe it was shorter, but the bar thing was still there.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you just
I
cut
remember
like some
something
of
you drunk now.
Yeah.
The drinking and horse thing that you cut all that. You're not supposed to.
Oh, drinking horse. Yeah. Because he falls off.
that's
yeah.
right.
Because I remember, I think there was a lot more nighttime walking in the original version than this one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably like a 20 second.
Drinking horse and then went to her house.
Oh yeah,
Drunk.
he went to her house drunk.
Yeah.
I think most projects benefit from somebody saying this is how much space or time that you have, and then you will work harder to make that time work. And if somebody says it's a loose, like somewhere between 90 minutes and 2.5 hours, then you're not going to feel that pressure. You're not going to work as hard.
I think the problems with a lot of these movies is when you direct and you write.
Exactly what I was
Yeah.
going to say.
And because like my favorite comedy is Tropic Thunder, but the theatrical version of Tropic Thunder is better than the director's cut.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's because like, well, I like that joke, I wrote that joke, I care to keep that one in there. It's like I think an editor is so, like you're saying, is so powerful to the movie.
Do you remember Mr. Bean's Holiday? And there's a Willem Dafoe character who's a movie maker. And it's a film by something Clay, starring this same guy, and and edited by he did everything.
Yeah.
Credits, and it's all him. It's Willem Dafoe, and so maybe it's having writer, director, star, producer being the same person, and kind of falling in love with a bit, and not having someone to say, yeah, but you could cut some of it.
Right. Yes, because I think you can do a great job of being writer, director, star. It can be done.
Yeah.
But if you don't have an editor that will speak truth to power, or because this might have been an editor, I don't know who they are, and I hate to talk bad about them. We know who this editor is, but the version that we were talking about originally, that could have very well been somebody who was like, yes, Mr. MacFarlane, great idea. You never really know in those types of situations. But that is why the real auteurs have editors that they carry with them throughout their careers, is because they develop a relationship where they can trust them and they can make sure that the best product is done and not something that executives come up with or a big-headed director or producer comes up with.
Does it benefit the comedy of this premise more for the film to be shorter or for it to be longer?
I don't think that there's one answer to that question. It depends on what you're filling the minutes with.
Yeah, I was about to say it depends on what you film. Yeah, what's in the jokes, and the construction of the plot. I think because I mean, obviously, I think this is a better version just because some of the jokes run long and some of the scenes run long in the theatrical version.
Comedy specifically benefits. There's something to be said about them not really running more than 90 minutes because it reaches a point where it just needs to resolve itself. And if you're just laying on jokes, it just gets a little too dense and you get farther and farther away from being able. It's not to get too technical about it, but like if you think about just like basic joke setups and the rules of threes and like you set up, knock it down, set up, knock it down. You can't do that for too long before the audience is like, okay, we need this to be done now.
So if they had done a montage like we talked about at the beginning, which was just different people dying different ways. Let's say that took a minute. You would say, then you got to cut a minute somewhere else.
Yeah.
Don't make it longer because that's a good thing that we want to see.
Right.
You would need to find that minute as opposed to add it on.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are y'all ready to watch my second fan edit of the exact same movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
How short is this one?
It's 2 minutes long.
Okay.